we could have got a shot of Clarence Thomas reaction right when that was. Oh, we got it? Live shot of Clarence Thomas.
For the white man, science is amazing, ain't it? Oh no, this can't be. It says I'm 102% African with a 2% margin of error. Why, Lord? Why, Lord? Why?
Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Street Politics. Hey, who making all that noise over there? Is that E. Jean Carroll? The Supreme Court rejected Trump's effort to overturn E. Jean Carroll's defamation and abuse verdict. The court left in place the jury's finding that Trump abused Carroll in the 1990s and later defamed her after she went public with her claims. Moreover, in turning away Trump's appeal, it means the 2023 jury verdict and the $5 million civil judgment remain in place.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
Bruh. That's tough. Hey, can E. Jean Carroll get that money off the Freedom 250? Well, can she just go down to the mall and just take the Ferris wheel home with her? Or how's she gonna get did she get it out of the bottom of the baptismal pool? Over by under the Israeli flag, where they got the baptismal pool, she can get the money out of there? Huh. Maybe she can get it out of the reflecting pool. Maybe she can get it out of the reflecting pool, the money that's at the bottom of the reflecting pool. It better be money at the bottom of that. There ain't no reason for it to be that green. I hope it's money underneath there. I really do. That's nuts. That's nuts. And what's crazy too, because I heard that E. Jean Carroll was going to take Lisa Cook to dinner to congratulate Lisa Cook. And Lisa Cook was going to have to pay, but now E. Jean Carroll got to pay. I guess maybe they can both get separate checks and say Trump just for the money. They just put Trump. Trump got to pay for it. Yeah, just put Trump. No, because Lisa Cook, she cutting up too. They acting a fool out here. They really are. The Supreme Court blocks Trump's firing of Federal Reserve Governor, notes, quote, tradition of central banking protected from political interference. That's tough. That's tough, boy. That's tough. You know what I mean? Hey, at least she gonna get a good wobble on. But I tell y'all, hey, just make sure y'all don't do too much. Make sure y'all don't do too much because, you know, we don't want the authorities to come down and shut everything down because I know they got that whole geofencing thing that they do. They done shut that down too, didn't they? They sure enough did. U.S. Supreme Court rules geofence warrants require constitutional privacy protections. Law enforcement's use of warrants sweeping smartphone location data requires those protections according to the court. They ruled that sweep up smartphone location data requires that protection under the Fourth Amendment in a boost to critics who view their use as a unconstitutional dragnet. Justice Elena Kagan wrote the majority opinion, which held that the sensitive data scooped up by geofence warrants counts as a Fourth Amendment search and offers individuals a, quote, reasonable expectation of privacy, even if they may be in a public area. That's tough. That's tough. Hey, that's tough. Trump, you might be down worse than Clarence. I'll be honest. You might be down worse than Clarence. You might be. I didn't even know if it was possible. The way they had Clarence getting flew out and taking pictures next to that RV and whatnot with them boots on. I didn't think it was possible, but you might be down worse. No, they wasn't done neither. They wasn't done neither. Supreme Court allows states to count mail-in ballots that arrive late, rejecting RNC challenge. The justices ruled that a Mississippi law that allows ballots to be counted as long as they were sent by election day isn't prohibited under federal law. They were down before we even got to the birthright. They were down before. Hey, wait till California get a load of this. They already take months with their elections. It's just going to turn into a mini series. What they going to do in California? And don't get DC started. Don't get DC started. DC take longer than California. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And you knew it was going bad. See, this is why I was laughing. This is why I was laughing when I said I wanted to save it. I wanted to save it for the. You knew it was going bad when you saw this here.
I guess so.
Justice Thomas, can we ask who you were meeting with today?
What'd you say?
Can we ask who you were meeting with this afternoon?
What'd you say?
Who were you meeting with this
Oh,
afternoon?
nobody.
You weren't meeting with the speaker, you were in his
Oh,
office.
God, no.
So what are you doing up here?
Oh, just walking.
No meetings in particular?
I'm going to tell you about.
Tomorrow's going to be a big day at the court, huh? Final day of decisions?
Oh, I guess so.
You want to give us a sneak peek of some of the decisions?
Nope.
But you can't tell us why you're up here today, who you're meeting with? Who are you meeting with, sir? Were you up here for any particular reason? No info on who you may have been meeting with? Anyone in House GOP leadership? That's who has offices in there. Any matters you were up here discussing? Any comment on today's decisions and the end of the Supreme Court term?
You have good questions.
And any comment on the end of the term?
You have good questions.
Do you want to answer any of them? Any
No.
comment at all?
Pleasure, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Let me first say, we're going to have a level of decorum in how we address this. Okay. We're going to have a level of decorum. I see what y'all saying, talking about he walks like a slave and his demeanor is that of a slave. We're not doing that. We not. I saw it. I saw it. Yeah, no, we not. Come on. Let's move past that. Let's move past, because I haven't gotten there yet. I might have the, driving Miss Daisy stroll. I might have that. I don't know. So I want to protect in the event that that's something that happens. Clarence Thomas, you really thought you was slick, looking that lady right in her face, talking about, huh? He talking about, who you mean with, huh? Huh? What you say that? Hey, boy, did you wash them dishes I told you? Huh? Hey, where's your report card? They said they were sending them home today. Huh? Where was you at last night? No, because I was up till 4 in the morning and you were, You ain't slick. Boy, you ain't slick. A whole Supreme Court justice. You thought she was going to disappear? Because you say, does that work on Jenny? Does that work on Jenny? Will she see She see all that jewelry on the table. Where that come from? You don't want to tell her it's from the Koch brothers? You don't want to tell her the Koch brothers them flew you out? Jenny asked where you been. You talk about, huh? That work with her? Then he tried to say, I'm just walking. Bruh, come on. I'm just out for a stroll. You know what I mean? And I know for me, when I go for a walk, I either walk through the Capitol or I like to find either a Nationals game or Wizards or Command. I'll just walk through there. That's what I want when I just want to go for a walk. Just right through there. That's when I'm just out for a stroll. That's what I do. Now, Clarence Thomas, you want us to take you seriously, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you wrote a whole 91-page dissent. 91-page dissent you wrote today. You want us to take you seriously with the 91 pages, but you gonna give us, you just out for a walk and That's so MAGA, man. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas just walked through the House side of the Capitol. He didn't say why he was here, but told me he was meeting with, quote, nobody. I said, tomorrow will be a big day at the court. I guess so. Would he give me a sneak peek of decisions? Nope. Corrupt Clarence Thomas was caught sneaking out of Speaker Mike Johnson's office. A Supreme Court justice should not have a private meeting with the Speaker of the House. What were they talking about? I mean, from the looks of things, probably some orthopedics. So it was probably some orthopedic shoes, something like that. Somebody got a sale going on with walkers, shape ups. Here's an idea. Just letting them know tomorrow's outcomes for betting purposes is all. Hey. Well, you know, it's going to cause a lot of us to lose. Well, I won't say us because we got lifetime appointments. It's going to cause a lot of y'all to lose y'all's jobs. But ain't no reason why you can't make some of that Kalshi money on the way out. You know what I mean? It ain't no reason why you can't make some of that polymarket money on the way out. So let that happen. You can let that happen. Well, look, if you were going to see Speaker Johnson, you went to the right one because he used to bad news. He used to bad news. He ain't been no good news. Ain't been no good news since he been there. Even when they pushed through Trump's legislation, he got dragged. He get dragged by Trump. He get dragged by Vance. He get dragged by the congressman. He get dragged by the Senate. He get dragged by the Democrats. He be getting dragged by the people on Grindr. He just be getting dragged. Ain't never no good news. Ain't never no good news. Never no good news for Speaker Johnson. So he went to the right one. He definitely had the right one. And yes, you are correct. If that was either Judge Jackson, Sotomayor, or Kagan visiting with Democrats, Republicans would be tripping over each other to file impeachment articles. That is 1,000% true. That is 1,000%. Just throw that on the list of things that would have been career ending in the before times. We won't even probably mention it because there's so many things on top of it.
I can't take it no more, God. If you listen, help!
It has to do with birthright citizenship. It was an executive order that President Trump, on day one of his second term in January 2025, signed the executive order. It was immediately challenged, and now we can tell you that the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled against President Trump's order to limit birthright citizenship. Shannon, we have talked for some time about the president feeling that he would not win on this one. The question is, why not?
Okay. Right off the bat, it says children born in the United States to parents unlawfully or temporarily present are, quote, subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and are citizens at birth under the 14th Amendment's Citizenship Clause. So look how this broke down. As we expected, the Chief Justice wrote this opinion. Justices Sotomayor, Kagan, Barrett, and Jackson joined. Jackson has a concurring opinion in which Sotomayor joins. Justice Kavanaugh files an opinion concurring in the judgment and dissenting in part. The dissent comes from Justice Thomas. He is joined by Gorsuch, Alito, and then Justice Gorsuch apparently has his own dissenting opinion. So it is what we expected after the arguments here, and it looks like a bit of a split, but enough of a plurality coming together to say that the executive order that the president issued very quickly upon taking office is no good, and that if people are here, subject to the jurisdiction thereof includes people who are here illegally. Writing for the majority, Chief Justice Roberts says this: citizenship then and now was the right to have rights to freely participate in our political community. Talking about the 14th Amendment, the framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every freeborn person in this land. That's a quote, and it looks like it's a quote back to some of the legislative debate about this in Congress. He says we keep that promise today.
Actually, let me actually reference the fact that Fox News mentioned Trump didn't think he was going to win this one, did he? No, Trump didn't think he was going to win this one, did he? Oh, that's sad. That's sad. You know what I mean? That's like the losing team. And well, if we honest, we came in late. We got into town late, so you know I'm just happy that we made it. That we were able to play all 4 quarters. That's all. Now, Trump was trying to set some conditions on birthright citizenship. Now, here's where you got me messed up. Because everything happens in a context. Everything happens in context. So, to let the right wing tell it, we are here trying to prevent people that are here illegally from doing, the birthright sprint, come into the country, have a baby, then they become citizens. So we got to set some conditions on birthright citizenship. And those are the conditions that we're setting on birthright citizenship. Now, the next question that I would have for you is, are you a habitual line stepper? Are you a habitual line stepper? Because if you just give me that in a vacuum out of context, that doesn't sound so bad, quite frankly. In a vacuum out of context. But nothing happens in a vacuum out of context. This happens in this world that we're living in, where you are a habitual line stepper. You have broken with years of precedent and threatened to utilize the military against American citizens. You have a private police roaming around called ICE that cannot identify themselves and want to prosecute people for even finding out who they happen to be, even when it's publicly available. You have gone and taken the idea of eradicating diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and proceeded to apply it to every single person that doesn't pass the brown paper bag test, irregardless of what their qualifications might have been. And then you drop low IQ on top of it. Well, quite frankly, You have made a bed which leaves you untrustworthy and completely incapable of accepting any level of power with the expectation that it will be left where it was granted. Absolutely none. So the case that you might want to make about why this particular amendment and this particular application of birthright citizenship might be in the best interest of us breaks down because you have made sure there's no us. And I will tell you, as a African-American man living in Washington, D.C., there isn't a single thing that you have tried to do to any group since you've been in office that hasn't been weaponized against us. Not one. Oh, here's a comment from Kevin Sorbo, traitors to America. And from Nick Sorter, they told out our country. Man, Trump, your money don't go as far as it used to, do you? They don't even do spell check to promote everything y'all doing. But let me address the Kevin Sorbo, who called them traitors to America. Now that's interesting. So they were never traitors to America when they were asserting Trump's will, even at the expense of precedent. So you could do away with precedent if it's Trump's will and not be a traitor to America. But now you would be a traitor to America for not doing Trump's will. See, there's no consistency when it comes to precedent. It's no consistency when it comes to the Constitution. The only consistency with y'all is it Trump's will, over the Constitution and precedent. So who's a traitor? Donald Trump reacts to birthright citizenship ruling. Following the ruling, Trump called for legislation to address the birthright citizenship issue. The president posted on Truth Social, the Supreme Court upheld birthright citizenship, which is too bad for our country, but we can easily make it up in Congress through legislation with the support of the president. That has now been determined through this process. No long and unwieldy constitutional amendment is necessary. Congress should start today to work on ending expensive and unfair to our country birthright citizenship. If only we could have got a shot of Clarence Thomas' reaction right when that was, oh, we got it? Live shot of Clarence Thomas.
For the white man, science is amazing, ain't it? Oh, no, this can't be. It says I'm 102% African with a 2% margin of error. Why, Lord? Why, Lord? Why?
Back to Shannon Bream for the view from Justice Thomas, who was a dissenter here. Shannon.
Yeah, in his dissent, he gets to that point, Bill, that you're making there. The 14th Amendment was enacted in the wake of the Civil War, quote, with the one pervading purpose of securing equal citizenship for the freed slaves. He writes, it was enacted, as Justice Harlan wrote, to secure to a race recently emancipated the civil rights that other citizens enjoyed. So Thomas has always been about that was the purpose of the 14th Amendment. He goes on to say that the court, meaning the majority now, has repurposed the 14th Amendment to protect its own set of preferred rights that the Reconstruction Congress never contemplated and that cannot find support in the text. Today, the court does so by recognizing a constitutional right to citizenship for the children of all foreign birth tourists and illegal aliens. Uses very specific language there. Again, Justice Thomas adhering and agreeing with the government's argument, with which they made here very passionately, that the 14th Amendment was about protecting the children of freed slaves and not what we've come to understand it as. You see his language there. He mentions birth tourism. It came up in the arguments, and clearly that's a very big concern of the dissenters. We also have dissents by Justice Alito and others, so we'll read those as well.
Protecting the rights of freed slaves. Ruckus, please. Ruckus, please. Ruckus, please. Protecting the rights of free. I know he did not. The same year that you rolled back the protections that it took hundreds of years to secure for the defendants of said freed slaves to be able to have their suitable representation. The same year, you want to talk to me about the rights of freed slaves. I swear, the same administration where you have allowed them to deconstruct programs that had to be put in place because of active racism, preventing the defendants of said freed slaves to secure life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And now you want to talk about the rights of freed slaves. Anita told us. She did. If Clarence Thomas has 1 million haters, I'm one of them. If he has 1,000 haters, I'm one of them. If he has one hater, it's me. If he has 0 haters, it means I have left this world. If the world is against him, I am with the world. If the world is for him, I am against the world. Man. That about sums it up, though. Yeah, that's about right.
Progressivism seeks to replace the basic premises of the Declaration of Independence, and hence our form of government. It holds that our rights and our dignities come not from God, but from government. It requires of the people a subservience and weakness incompatible with a constitution premised on the transcendent origin of our rights.
That's nasty work. That is nasty work. And honestly, I would have more to say about what it was that you tried to do, if not for how Ketanji Brown Jackson did you. Because she did you filthy. She did you filthy. And I'm gonna let her have it. You know what I mean? Because she has earned the right. She has earned. I'm gonna come in on the back like a vulture or hyena. I'm gonna just get what's ever left over. I'm gonna come in. Hey, when she through with the white meat, when she through taking you to the white meat, I'm gonna come through and get my little to go back. But I'm gonna let her have it first. From Ketanji Brown Jackson, who wrote separately to legally torch Clarence Thomas on Birthright Citizenship, which can basically be summed up as, can you believe the nerve of this mofo? Quote, despite his long-standing endorsement of a colorblind constitution, Judge Thomas now surprisingly suggests that the Citizenship Clause was a race-conscious remedial measure relating only to freed slaves such as Dred Scott, post at 56, and those who shared with them certain characteristics. It is for this reason, he says, that children who were born in the United States, but to parents not domiciled here, are not entitled to claim birthright citizenship. But that narrow vision of the 14th Amendment bears little relationship to the history of its ratification. Even worse, Justice Thomas's telling leads the entire point of the second founding. The Reconstruction Amendments were an anti-caste, anti-subordination reset for the nation, not a mere spot treatment for the dark-stained of slavery. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson used the TikTok slang phrase "understood the assignment" in her concurring opinion for the Birthright citizenship case. She says, also true is the fact that this court has time and again denied Americans that promise. Okay, I'm glad she continued from has time. I thought she was going to say that this court has time today. I was like, it was real. She said this court got time today. No, she said it has time and again denied Americans that promise. But consensus about the 14th Amendment's central motivation, does not justify Justice Thomas's myopic treatment of it. The amendment caused a paradigm shift in the trajectory of our nation. The teacher who scolds a student for bullying a classmate hopes the student learns the broader lesson of treating everyone with kindness, not just that one kid. She eating, ain't she? She eating, ain't she? In the aftermath of the Civil War, those who championed the 14th Amendment, both within and beyond Congress, understood the assignment. Their work product used language that transcended race and region and thereby changed and broadened the meaning of freedom for all Americans. Instead of the limited solve of principled dissent makes it out to be, the Citizenship Clause reflects this universalist approach. Clarence Thomas, you gonna have to say something to it. He gonna have to say something to it because that, bruh, you know what I mean? How Clarence Thomas show up to work after that? How he show up to work? And he gonna be limping in like that too? Like how Clarence Thomas gonna show up to work after that? And she knew. She came in talking that spicy. It's time to go. It's time to go, bro. It's time to go. Ain't no coming back. Ain't no coming. You gotta transfer schools. They say something like that. You gotta transfer schools. You know what I mean? That's real bad. That's real bad. I know. No, got the whole internet dragging you. The whole internet dragging you. Describe Clarence Thomas in one word. We got a total piece of crap. That's more than one word. Traitor, corrupt. Stephen from J. Is that one word? Is that one word? There's a lot of. Hey, that's too many words, Mike Clark. Look how many words you put out there. You could have picked any one of those. Any one of those would have worked, but not all of them. We got corrupt again. Another one. Another. That's too many words. That's too many words. Let me see. Rulings for rent. Y'all didn't understand the assignment. She said one word. A sellout. Okay, that's one word. That's one word. The sellout. That's one word. That one we can go. Corruption. There's a lot of corruption here. Insurrectionist. Will a pick suffice? I got a bookmark that. Uncle Ruckus, untrustworthy. Oops. But I knew that was gonna be there. I knew that one was gonna be there. Corrupt. I think corrupt is basically another photo. Y'all didn't. I support the idea of what y'all do, and y'all got to be more conservative. Hey, Samuel L. Jackson ears got to be ringing with how many people done posted him. Bribe taker, corrupt, frauds. Yep, another Stephen from Django. Another Stephen from Django. All right, I got. All right. And that looked more like Ben Carson right there. That don't look like Clarence. That looked like Ben Carson. Oh, but wait, there was some Amy Coney Barrett slander too. No, it wasn't from her kids about the Haitian thing. So Amy Coney Barrett once again has chosen to side with the Constitution over the wishes of President Trump. Very disappointing. I had hoped she would be more like Justice Clarence Thomas, who never lets the Constitution interfere with his opinions. Touche. And also, it's still on brand because it's attacking the women.
But wait, there's more.
Hey, Clarence, somebody got your back. Somebody got your back online. From DC Drano, anyone who knows about Clarence Thomas dissents knows they are almost always short and sweet. The fact that he wrote a 91-page dissent for this monstrosity of a decision on Birthright shows how absolutely infuriated he is. Actually, I think he just called you lazy. Yeah, I think he just called you lazy. Yeah. We told you about that. No, we definitely told you about that. But hey, that's not to say it was all bad news. You got the Supreme Court ruling that Trump can fire leaders of independent agencies, overturning 90 years of precedent. The case stemmed from Trump's decision to fire FTC Commissioner Rebecca Slaughter without cause. That precedent has limited presidents from removing board members of said independent agencies. The court's conservative majority voted 6-3 to uphold the decision to fire Slaughter, a Democratic commissioner on the Federal Trade Commission, who was removed from her position along with another Democratic member because he said their views didn't align with his agenda. Now, see, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense that you would overturn 90 years of precedent for a historically unpopular regime. That makes because y'all don't think about tomorrow. So we just gonna turn over the FTC every got it. Okay. Yep. That was great. Hey, you might get a fresh wash for that RV. That you might get something for that. And here's another one. Supreme Court strikes down limits on political party spending. They yet again loosen campaign finance restrictions by striking down limits on how much political parties may spend on candidates. By a vote of 6-3 along ideological lines, the court ruled the law, which had been enacted in 1974, violates political parties' First Amendment rights. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I think as a country, that was the conclusion that we had come to, was we needed to loosen campaign finance laws. I think that was where we were at, was that they weren't spending enough. I think that's kind of where the popular opinion, will of the people, is definitely will of the people. Clarence, how does this work with with your package, with you getting flued out? Now that they spending money on candidates, even more so than they used to. Huh? You didn't think about that, did you? You should. You don't think about a lot. You don't think about a lot of stuff. I don't know what you put in them 91 pages. Stupid that Clarence Thomas didn't take John Oliver up on his offer for a $2.4 million motor coach and $1 million a year if he resigned immediately. Now Thomas should just resign with nothing. Hey, I wouldn't say resign with absolutely nothing. You are going to resign with the disdain and disgust of millions of Americans, including many in your own party, that you were unable to keep this court together. And you will also be one of the driving forces of enabling this administration. Historically. Thanks for coming.